We are, uh, I think we have concluded that we are going to, I looked at everything we have and I've decided that we're, I'm going to keep all three bin trucks. Uh, and we're going to, one of the tracks is a 2022, but the other one, Christie's track, so we're going to replace it with a brand new one.
Nice.
So we're
A
working on that,
luxury one?
probably because it's for her. So yeah, it'll probably end up being,
Massaging seats.
I don't know if they have that in dump trucks. One of the ones I looked at has it's a Kenworth T880 with a tan brown interior. It's brown and black leather. It's sick. It's
Ooh,
got a quilted roof. Yeah.
black and tan. That's,
I really want a W990.
don't know what those are.
That's like the big flat nose, huge cab.
Oh,
Yeah.
straight driving truck. Heavy haul.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I really want one. So I don't know, I think that's where we're gonna go. We're gonna buy I think that'll help us with downtime, and I think we probably pay that much in repairs anyways. It won't help Brad's bid for a cottage.
Hmm.
Although I'm sure we'll find another way to break that truck, so it'll be fine.
He's still young. He's still got time to save up for a
Yeah.
cottage.
That one will fucking. He's got time for that truck to become old and unreliable. I decided with the dump trucks, we're gonna like flip them as soon as there's 1 year left in payments on them.
That's smart.
Never gonna pay them off. I'm just gonna keep flipping them endlessly. I don't know
Yeah,
what
but
we'll end up with because if we have to order, I don't want to order a truck. I'm gonna buy something that's stock off a lot because I want to get rid of the other truck as quickly as possible. Because if we buy something and it's gonna take 6 to 8 months to build it, and that something major happens to the truck,
yeah.
then what
Yeah.
the fuck you got to fix it, and now you're defeating the whole purpose of having the new truck. So I don't think there's anything wrong with the truck, but you never know. Every day you start it, like
Mhm.
anything that's older, anytime you started, like so. I think the problem is you can't buy a standard truck anymore. No manufacturer stock standard trucks. They're all auto, and it's an $8,000 upgrade to get a standard now or something.
What's wrong with auto?
Christy doesn't want an auto truck.
Hmm.
I don't care. I drive an auto truck. Doesn't bother me. It bothers her a
Yeah.
lot. She does not want an auto truck.
Hmm.
Hers is the only 18-speed truck we have.
That scares me.
The rest of them are auto. What does that? I
18 speed. Eh, it's just not, it's too much truck for me. That, but I'm not
uh
also not a truck driver, right? I'm
no, yeah, you're not doing it
not a
every day.
recreational truck driver. Put me in a tandem, great. Triaxle, ooh, she's a big truck. Little guy like me.
I'm not. I honestly, for me, I don't. I like the auto truck. I don't. There's lots of like when we're moving snow all night.
Yeah. You'd
I'm
rather be an
tired.
automatic.
But
Yeah.
I'll be tired and I'll be looking over at Christy going, man, like she's been pushing the clutch down and shifting gears to get around this fucking Amazon. I'm just taking my fucking foot off the brake and letting it idle around in a circle. And I'm tired. I'm exhausted. But she adamantly does not want an automatic boot truck.
Hmm. What about like a tap shift?
I don't know. One of the ones I looked at, the gear shift was on the windshield wiper fluid thing.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah. I
And
think that's the tap shift one. Say a paddle shift with the,
I've seen those.
yeah. I don't know.
I don't know, maybe I've never seen it before. I was like, that's wild. I was like, that's fucking crazy. There's no way that I would. It just seemed weird. Like even I don't know. I'm sure it's great technology. I'm like, if you're stuck in the mud, you're gonna be like grabbing the windshield wiper thing, going drive, reverse, drive, reverse. Like wipers on, wipers off, wipers triple speed, wipers like intermittent. But like it literally looks like the thing that sticks out. Like I don't know. Maybe that's
Like that's on a backhoe though, right? Because you have
yeah.
your,
It's very similar to. You're right. That's what it's like.
yeah. It's
But it's
turn
not weird on a
turn the thing
backhoe.
on. It's not weird on a backhoe, but it's weird in a truck.
It seems weird in a truck, but you're right. It's not weird in a backhoe. Well, there's loaders that do that too.
Ours is on the thumb.
But the old loaders used to be
Yeah,
on
yeah,
the
yeah,
stick. Yeah.
yeah.
The Kubota ones are on the controller too, I think.
Hmm.
On
I
the
gotta flip our loader. I don't like our loader. I need something with some suspension or something like that. Ours is just, it's like riding around on a balloon. Anytime there's a pothole, everything bounces all the time.
aren't all loaders like that?
Maybe, but this is too much. I want to try something different.
What kind of loader is it?
I think it's a case 321.
Is that bigger than a Kubota R640?
Yeah, yeah, it's the next size up, I think.
Get a
But
cat.
I think we're gonna go cat because the wheels are independent or something like that. Like the front wheels are independent of the rear wheels. So if you're climbing over something, the whole machine doesn't tilt sideways. It's
I
just
know
the
what you're
front
saying.
wheels or something. And we hop a lot of curbs,
What do you
uh,
do with the loader?
topsoil for boulevards and stuff like that. And it's just at the yard. And honestly, we use it so much at the yard for moving pallets and loading trucks and stuff. And it's just great to have.
It has forks on it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's skid steer quick connect. So anything that can go on a skid steer can go on the loader.
I wonder if we should think about getting a loader.
Mm-hmm. You should.
All of our Bobcat stuff comes off our books July 1st.
I would get a loader. I think it's one of the best things we ever did is get a loader.
Really?
The 8-ton, the loader, the tandem truck. Those things have elevated our business.
I never thought about a loader. I always just thought about another skid steer.
I didn't want a loader for the longest time. And like, I think maybe this is the next step.
How long have you had it?
4 years.
Did you buy it brand new?
Yeah. It should be almost off payment soon, I think, actually.
How much was it?
I think we paid 125.
Do you
It
think you
was
got your money out of it?
we only have 450 hours, 480 hours on it, so
Yeah, but how
someone who
productive were those hours?
100% productive. Like it doesn't idle, so
Do you think that 480 hours in a loader would be equivalent to like 800 hours if you're using a skid steer?
mm,
Like 480 hours isn't necessarily bad.
no, it's not a lot by
If
any
it's,
means.
but no, I meant it's
Yeah.
not like if you're saying, okay, I don't know if using this thing for 125 hours a year, we got our money's worth out of it. But really, if you were using a different piece of equipment that wasn't as efficient, you
Yeah.
might have taken, like say you did everything you did with the loader with a skid steer and then compared those hours versus like you might have had to accomplish the same amount of work with a skid steer, it might have been 900 hours.
Yeah, I'd say so. Or it would have been a lot more wear on a skid steer than it is on the loader for those hour to hour life, right?
Did you plow with it?
No, we plowed with the backhoe, and we only plowed the yard, I don't know, 6 times. This past year, we plowed twice the yard, but it's never went out and earned money as a plowing machine. It's never seen salt.
Maybe a loader's the right move.
It's a luxury to have around the yard. So, you know how you feel about luxuries.
That's a personal thing, not a yard, like
Yes.
not a company thing. I
Yeah.
personally like to make myself suffer. The only time I can be happy with myself is when I'm making myself suffer badly.
So continue to unload pallets by hand
Let's continue on.
instead of getting a loader.
But I don't really do that. We don't have pallets at our yard, so
I
I think in our whole yard there's 2 pallets of material right now. One is the insanely expensive granite shit from that Route Adelaide balcony because I'm scared to throw it away in case they call and complain because you can't replace it. And if you do try to replace it, it takes like 40 weeks to get here. So I'm not throwing it away until they have 100% paid us our hold back. And then I'm like, fuck you, this is your problem now.
have minimum 40 pallets of miscellaneous brick at the yard. But I was thinking today, as I was moving pallets around in my loader, uh, I just sold a job that's completely from the boneyard, between $8,000 and $10,000 total, which is, I don't know, 2 or 3 day job or whatever, right? But everything for that job comes from the boneyard. And there is no sweeter justification for having the boneyard than selling a job like that. Like, there's nothing I need to buy, nothing I need to order ahead of time. Everything is a half pallet there, a half pallet there. Yeah, we'll use that as the border. It all comes together. We put it on the dump truck. The only downside of the situation is that I might not have a full-size machine to unload it at the job site. And there's no Moffat or whatever because no one's dropping anything off.
Can't you drive the loader there?
It's a little far. I
Mm.
could. It's a bumpy ride, but
Can't you float a skid steer?
yeah, I could, I'm sure. But we'll maybe use the mini skid steer. And since they're all in half pallets, it's not too hard to bust them down
Yeah.
into
Very nice.
manageable things. So
That's
so
the
the
kind of
boneyard
thing.
is coming in clutch every once in a while.
That's the kind of thing that's going to cost you like 30,000 now.
What?
Well,
gonna
because
cost me?
because every time you look at the boneyard and add more to it, you'll be like, I remember that time I got that job for 8 grand. But it's going to cost you 30,000 more in shit because every time you're like, I could return that, I'd lose 25%, but I get my money. You're like, remember that time I got that 10 grand from the boneyard? And then you'll add more. And then 10 years from now, you're going to look at the boneyard and be like, man, there's 30 G's worth of garbage sitting here that I could have returned.
No,
Just to put this like in a little bit of perspective though, skids are $40 a skid now.
yeah, I got 80 of them sitting at
But-
my yard ready to go back.
So, but 40 times 40 is $1,600 worth of skids.
Mhm.
Just sitting at the yard doing nothing.
Just sitting at the yard, yeah.
So if you said you had 80 skids, you got $3,200 in skids sitting at your fucking yard.
Yeah, you're right. I do.
That's wild.
Yeah. But I don't think we pay 40. I think it's 20 or 25 here.
Is it?
Yeah.
We pay
But-
for it.
No, we're going through things slowly. Like old brick that comes back, I flip them upside down and use them as base block under wall. Like just these little tricks that I've learned to get rid of some of the stuff that we've had. Like we'll come back with like a 3 layers of like Rhinox, something that we've never fucking used before, and it's like 50 mil or something like that, right? So you sure shit know you can't return that. They won't take it back. You're flipping it upside down using the smooth side as buried course for a wall or something like that. And that's like, what else do you do with it? You could sell it on Facebook Marketplace and have 50 people hounding you for it. They only want to give you
And then
20
get
bucks
investigated by the CRA.
for it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, so like,
Chad,
this is
what'd you do with
just-
that money from the what did you
From
do
the
with that
what?
money from the Facebook Marketplace sales?
I documented it and recorded it in our software for the accountant. It's yeah, I don't know. We're chipping away at the boneyard, selling stuff, using stuff. I got some giant Rhinox paper, like the Promo XL or whatever. They're like 3x4, just huge. We have one just waiting for another piece on the job site to crack so we can replace it with this fucking monster slab. But we only have one left. After that, the die lots won't match and someone else's problem. I had to work by myself for the first time in probably 10 years today. One guy called in sick at 6:30 in the morning with a bad back. And he was the ride for this other new guy that we hired, so neither one of them could come in. And I had to start a patio. So I got to the clients. Thankfully, she wanted to add a step, and I'm like, "Oh, I'm gonna have to order that. We can't begin until the step's in." So I bought myself some time there, and then there was this 4x4 wood frame around the whole thing that I had to take out, and I ended up doing that on my own. Brought it back to the yard. Was about to put it in the bin. Then I'm like, this is probably gonna cost a lot of money. Maybe I'll just burn it. It's probably a lot cheaper to burn it than it is to put it in the bin. Have them haul it away. So now it's sitting in a burn pile. It's old rotten 4x4 contraption.
Nice.
Yeah.
What did you think you were actually going to accomplish? So it's actually on YouTube. We have a small residential job going on. It's a circular with a fire pit. And I hired um, a landscaper that he's worked with me twice before. He worked at the company that shall not be named. He's going on his own. He's doing his own thing this year. So I said, okay, well, if I got some jobs, I'll supply the materials and I'll let you do them and help you out. Like, he's been good in the past. I think he seems to be near his boots more than he was the first couple go rounds. But he wants to work alone. So the first day we go to the job, he's like, yeah, I'll be done this in 2 days.
Oh, I saw that YouTube video.
I was like, yeah, okay, cool. And then the next day he's like, yeah, I'll be done today. I'm like, okay. And then I went back to the third day and I'm like, hey, you don't seem to be done yet, man. And then yesterday it poured rain and today he was sick. Yeah, bro, this 1 day job is now on its 5th day.
I really don't think people are productive on their own. I don't know how you do it, Mike. Like,
what do you mean? Oh, Mike, I'm like, I'm fat and lazy. I would never do anything on my own. Yeah, I agree. I think it's wild that Mike gets as much done as he does all by himself. I think that's like insane. Like just watching this shit show of a guy working by himself. But he's doing, but to his credit, he's doing and the bin got overfilled because he overdug, because he dug it too deep, and then because it should have been with fluff 8.5 yards that came out of this patio, and that's a 10 yard bin. In the video, I'm like, I don't think Cody's gonna be happy with that one. I thought that video was awesome that I tagged all our clients in it who overfilled the bin.
Yeah, that was good.
Who's the one who overfilled? I think that video got like 30,000 views this week.
Wow.
Something like that. Yeah, I don't know. Mike, I definitely takes a personality. And I think that, what I think in my mind sets, just from knowing you here, sets you apart from, say, what's going on my job that's going to be done today, is I think that you probably have better planning.
Yeah, I think I've had to learn that for sure.
If I had to work on my own all the time, I would have to get myself like a Bluetooth headset or something, just so that I could talk on the phone and get things done. I spend 2 hours a day on the phone.
Yeah, but do you think if you were
calls
working
and
by
stuff.
yourself and you didn't have all this other shit going on around you, you would be on the phone as much?
No, I suppose not. But
yeah,
you would have to. The whole business would have to downsize drastically to make that work.
but but like
There
how
would
many?
be no premium luxury truck at that point.
There should
Uh,
be if
just
you want
couldn't
it, if you price it properly, right?
yeah,
I don't know if my numbers only work because I have scaled them accordingly, but I don't think I could go back down to that and still afford the truck.
You still have to
Because-
have a truck though.
Yeah, a cloth seat truck.
No,
Back to the cloth seat
no,
truck.
but okay.
I'm telling you, these numbers don't work. That's a $3,000 truck a month. One person can maybe produce, I don't know, how much, $5,000 a week? Maybe billable, like revenue-ish.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
After expenses and everything, having your equipment, it doesn't work. We invoice, like some days we invoice $10,000, you know?
$5,000 a day revenue, or sorry, a week
Yeah. Profit.
revenue?
Profit.
Okay.
Yeah, but the truck's not part of your profit anyways.
No, but you have to cover it with your profit, right?
No,
Cover your payment with your profit.
Cover your
No.
overhead.
you got to
Yeah.
cover your overhead. Profit
Yeah.
is well, I guess
Well,
it
whatever.
depends on how you look at that. Yeah, it would depend on how you.
All numbers can be manipulated. Like you could just say, you pay yourself 30,000, and then you've got all this money that can be put elsewhere, or you pay yourself 100,000, and all of a sudden there's no like all these numbers by anybody can be manipulated however you want it to be.
So just to play devil's advocate here, even though I've been, well, I don't think I've been deterring the luxury truck market. I've just been pointing out that I probably have some kind of brain issue why I'm not driving the truck. The difference between like, and I don't know anything about Fords because I've always disliked them. So I've never had one. I don't like them. So I don't know about the pricing. But in the Chevys, if you're buying like a Silverado LT with a diesel motor, the truck's probably 89,000 bucks. If you're buying the Denali version of it, it's probably 105. So is that $15,000 spread out over the 8 years payment that you're going to make the truck, or 7 years? Like, is that
Whoa,
gonna-
someone's putting their truck on an 8-year?
Oh yeah, lots of people, man.
No, 4-year max.
Well, that's for you though.
Yeah.
I'm saying for the average, I bet most people's truck loans are 7 years now.
I think that's trouble.
Well, I totally agree
Definitely.
with you that it's trouble.
Yeah.
I think that's
Kelly and I decided we have one shitty truck loan on our black Dodge. It's shit. But at the time when we were expanding during COVID, the only way to get that truck was if it was on like a long loan for some reason. I don't remember why. And so that loan is shit. But other than that, Kelly and I both said we don't want anything over 48 months.
Yeah, 4 years. My rule is at 4 years, you can sell it and you're not in the hole on the truck, right? Anything longer than that, and you probably owe more than what the truck's worth. And you either roll the negative equity into your next one and put yourself further in the hole, or the truck shits the bed and then you're ultra fucked.
Yes.
So
But the difference in the payment, that would be a numbers question. If you're paying $1,000 a month for your LT and you're gonna pay, or whatever the fucking denomination is, and you're gonna pay $1,300 a month for the high country or whatever Denali, like the $300 a month, even if you were working all by yourself, is probably not
yeah, maybe.
going to be make or break because you're already making a big payment on the truck.
Yeah. No, you're probably right. I'm just so used to having a big cushion of surplus money. Like I know I drive a luxury truck, but the mindset behind that is that
The mindset.
that's not
Oh my
even
God.
that's not going to break the bank, right? It doesn't make a dent in the finances of the company because I want to drive that truck. So partly the reason why I can have the luxury truck is because it doesn't affect my mental health by having to worry that we can't afford this thing. Right? That's probably the best thing about it. Like, the truck can be worth however much, but knowing that I don't have to worry about the payment, that's probably where the peace of mind comes from the most.
Right.
But I don't know if I could do that as a one-man show all the time.
Oh, there's also an argument as a one-man show. You can be more choosy about the work you do. And you can pick work
Yeah.
you
Oh,
want.
yeah,
You can
for
pick
sure.
high margin work that you want to do.
We're taking anything.
You know,
We're
I
taking
heard
shit
that
we don't want to do.
I heard as a one-man show you can just basically do drainage out your ass.
You can do what?
Drainage.
Drainage. Somebody commented on one of my YouTube videos that was Hayden Everett. He's submitted questions and what did he say?
I commented on one of your YouTube videos.
Great video, super informative, but when are you going to stop pretending to be a hardscaper and admit you're a drainage contractor?
There are literally guys around me that have drainage in their company name.
Wow.
Like, they do this they're like tile drainage guys, and like they'll go and do the whole, like, they make a business off it.
The amount of drainage leads that I got this year were crazy, and a lot of them were because surrounding neighbors had gotten hardscapes done, and now they were the low property, and they were just getting all the runoff.
Yep.
And it was bad. Like, some of these backyards are underwater.
Wow. Building bathtubs for the neighbors.
Yeah.
But I would imagine that you get to be selective though, Mike.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely.
Much like you, Chad, we're in Kitchener building a wall.
We just go where we can get to work.
And, you know, we have a job in Mississauga.
Yeah.
That we're going to do. And we're bidding a wall in like Brantford. And we're fucking, you know, this year it doesn't matter. I don't care. We'll go wherever we have
We'll
to go.
go. Yeah.
We'll do whatever we have to do. But
I would rather travel sometimes than work in a shitty neighborhood for a homeowner. The one I'm doing now, like, we're parked on the road or whatever, and you'll wave at the neighbor as they go by and they fucking snuff you. Like, is everyone on this street a peckerhead? Like, nobody is nice? Like, the neighbor came over.
maybe you're working for the bad person.
They seem nice to me. Like, the neighbor came over. I had a 4x4 on the grass on my client's property. She's like, "Can you move that?" I'm like, "You stupid cunt. Like, is this how it's gonna be? If I didn't have my mats 3 inches on your property, I would have tore you a new one right there." I can't wait till this one's done. Get out of your shitty neighborhood where no one waves.
No one waves at me, so I'm bitter. You need to wave at me. I'm bitter.
Yeah.
So how long does it take to get the new truck? So how long did it take to get the new truck?
They said 3 months.
Okay, so did they give you a trade-in value on the Dodge?
No, I didn't ask.
So what are you going to sell it privately?
Yeah, I'll sell it privately or ask for a trade-in. So I have a buddy who's a used car sales guy or whatever. He says, never bring it in dirty. He's like, you have to have it fully detailed when you bring it in for trade, because they just punch everything into an app, right? And it'll tell you what it's worth.
Yeah.
That's what they'll give you.
Now they just use the serial number. Give me the serial number and the kilometers.
Yeah, but they want to know that it's not dirty and stuff, right? Like, they have to rate it on a scale or something before they send it to auction. So I didn't even ask for an
Does the
appraisal on it.
transmission clunk?
Well, it's a Dodge, so yeah. I think they all do. But
What kind of truck do you have, Mike?
I have a Silverado, 2 Silverados.
What year?
I have no idea. One's early 2000s, one's 2010 something. I don't know.
Nice.
I don't have much value in trucks and vehicles and stuff because they get like Chad said, they get traded in anyways.
Yeah.
When? If
Yeah,
they're
I guess.
from 2010, it's time.
Yeah, I guess.
How long have you had them?
The older one I've had since before I had my business. That's just kind of a keepsake, I guess. Now,
Are they both 2500s?
no, well, that one's a 1500, and the other one is a 25.
On Saturday I went out to load hay because that's what we do now. We move hay.
Nice.
But that pays good. Pays all right. And then I was floating the skid steer. Well, we borrowed the skid steer from Jordan and Derek from DPR, but I was floating it home behind the original truck, the 2015 Chevy, because I too, Mike, I'm sentimental about it and I like it, so I keep it. It's also the most reliable truck we have. But it does not have many luxury appointments. It definitely has cloth seats that are ripped. One of the things that Kale was talking about on his podcast about the whole truck thing was, would you bring a client in your truck? Like, is that something you should be concerned about? Like, what if a client had to get in your truck?
Why would they have to get in your truck?
I
Oh,
don't
I've
know.
had it happen before where, yeah, just take me. It's just up at the end of the laneway here. Or let's go see my sister. She wants some work too. I'll just hop in your truck. And you take them there, and it's a weird encounter.
How does it
Never.
weird?
That's happened on multiple occasions actually.
It's happened. So I I went to look at some work at the U of T. You know, it's commercial property. And I got out of the park the Veloster, got out of it, went to the meeting. I'm talking to the guy who's a super nice guy. And at the end of the meeting, he says, "Oh, I got another job that you might want to look at." I said, "Sure." He said, "I'll just jump in with you." Like, all right, man, here we go. So I moved my backpack out of the seat and in the Veloster we went. The
Yeah.
two of us. Like,
Yeah.
"Oh, you're driving this Veloster." I'm like, "Yeah, it's great on gas." Like, "Oh, that's good, practical." I've had a client in the Veloster. Like, it's fucking wild as that is. I have had a client in the fucking Veloster. So I don't know if it affects sales or not. I don't, yeah, but it didn't affect that. I still got the job. So, anyways, I
I
don't
prefer
remember.
not to have a client in my truck.
Oh, that would be my preference.
I prefer to have no one in the passenger seat ever in my truck.
So I guess we're not taking Chad's truck to.
Well, no, I mean for
No,
work, for work purposes.
he said in the passenger seat. So you and I'll have to sit in the back, Mike.
Yeah.
Keep the passenger seat open.
No,
Just-
it's just
back
there's
seats-
so much.
Back seats
That's-
don't have air conditioned seats.
Nah, I'm not sure if they do. But there's so much, like my day planner and shit, and my GoPro, and 20 different receipts, drawings. That shit is on the passenger seat. So anytime someone needs to get in there, you got to take it off, and you either put it in the center console or you put it in the back on the floor, and then they get out, and then you got to put it all back, and it drives me nuts. So anyway,
that seems like
if they made
seems like a really first world problem.
if they made a contractor's truck with a filing cabinet as the passenger seat, I would buy it.
I think that the Ford F-150s, and I've already stated I am not a Ford fan in this episode, but they have some way you can open them up and have a laptop in them. That's a good idea.
Yeah, like a media station.
It's like
Whenever I whenever I ordered mine, they asked me if I wanted the safe in it. It was like a $500 upgrade. They're like, do you want a safe in your truck? Like a locking safe?" I'm like, "What the fuck? Do you guys know the CRA or something? Like, I don't take cash and keep it in the truck."
I would think that so this is just my take on it. I would think that locking safe is a US option for guns.
Hmm.
That would be my
Well,
guess.
we definitely can't have guns. Like
No, but I'm
guns
gonna
that
guess
fit in a safe here.
no, I'm
Like,
gonna guess yeah, that would have to be a big ass safe.
well, yeah, you can't have handguns. You have to, anytime you're moving a handgun, you have to call it in, right? Like if you're taking your handgun to the range or something like that, you have to call it in and say, "I'm leaving at this time. I'm going here. Not stopping anywhere in between." Like just to move around with a handgun here is nuts.
But I would bet that the safe in the Ford is
Not
it's specifically a gun safe. I bet if you ask them how big it is, I bet if you were to measure out like a Glock 9, it fits right in it. Like if they're selling it in
not
Texas,
$40,000 in cash. It's meant for a gun
why else would you want a locking safe in your truck?
for $40,000 in cash.
I guess maybe. Yeah. No wonder the CRA is fucking investigating you.
Well, I said I didn't want that option. I have
Oh,
no need for that safe option.
no option for the safe. So you turn down the dually option and you turn down
Yeah.
the safe.
Yeah. What do you think I am, a rapper?
What color did you
Like
buy?
black.
What if- and that's the end of the episode.
Is that really it?
That's the end. Yeah. Oh, yeah.